Old burying ground. Today we're here in the town of Kingston, Massachusetts. We're going to be touring the old burying ground. Now this cemetery dates back to the early 18th century, around the year 1717 from the research I did. And two of the most famous burials are that of General John Thomas, who was a Revolutionary War hero. He died in 1776, as well as Hannah Thomas, who was America's first female lighthouse operator. Let's take a look. Old burying ground. This one sits nicely just under this big old pine tree. Eli Wilson. Looks like he died in 1898. Aged 77 years. Otis Waterman died March 20th, 1856. Joseph Adams, 1818 to 1911. Patience, wife of Osborne Morton, died May 14th, 1843. In memory of Miss Lydia Foster, who died August 30th, 1795, in the 57th year of her age. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn's rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift, uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there, I did not die. Sophia A., daughter of Louis and Sophia Holmes, born 1813, died 1880. He giveth his beloved sleep. Now just behind that stone you'll see there's a smaller one, and all three of these have a smaller one behind it. And I used to think that was children, but I recently got a comment on one of my videos, which I totally appreciate all of your comments. I learn more from you than you learn from me, I'm sure of it. One of my commenters said that these are actually footstones. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but you guys let me know. What do you think? Is this the children or is this footstones? I had never heard of such a thing. The writing is on this side, so that means the head would be here, their feet down there, and I guess you come pay homage to the front of the stone here. Hard to read. This is the rest of the Holmes family. 1853. Here's one over by the church. This is the Holmes family as well. Looks like maybe it says Lucy, wife of Spencer Holmes, who died in 1842. Mercy Churchill, the wife of Theodore Churchill, born in Kingston, Massachusetts, right here, in 1776. Passed away in 1861. This one's really beautiful and haunting. Can you see the face in there? Pretty dilapidated. In memory of last name Washburn, it looks like. Wife of Seth Washburn. She passed in 1782. Can you see that? I'm not sure if I'm getting it on camera. There it is. She passed in 1782. Wow, 43 years old only. This one's interesting. I've never seen this before of all the Massachusetts cemeteries I've visited, but it has a little helmet on. They've built some type of guard, which makes sense because a lot of them are chipped at the top there. So it's pretty cool. It looks like it's made of tin or something. In memory of Miss Peggy, can't read the last name on that one. Peggy Meg, I'm not sure. Can you guys read that? She passed in 1776. There's a few Revolutionary War heroes here. You can see the flags mark them. One here we have in memory of, looks like perhaps Sylvester Holmes, who died 1810, 53 years old. Stone is completely broken off. This one's another Revolutionary War hero, Mr. Francis Ring, who died in 1820, 82 years old. Back here we have Mrs. Clarissa, wife of Ansel Holmes, who died in 1856. She did, 56 years old. This soul has now taken its flight to mountains of glory above, to mingle with angels of light and dwell in the kingdom of love. Here we have William Seaver, another Revolutionary War soldier. His family's name's all beneath him. Here lies deposited what was mortal of Anne Warren Seaver, daughter to the Honorable William Seaver, Esquire, and Sarah, his wife. She died in 1788. Up ahead here, we see the memorial for John and Hannah Thomas and their family, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. John Thomas was born in Marshfield, Massachusetts in 1724. As a young man, he studied medicine with Dr. Tufts before beginning his own practice right here in Kingston. Quite an accomplished man, he was a major general in the Continental Army during the American Revolution, a leader during the Siege of Boston, and he briefly commanded the withdrawal from Canada after an unsuccessful invasion by the Continental Army. Sadly, he died from smallpox during that retreat. Did you know smallpox is one of only 2 infectious diseases to have ever been eradicated? In 1980, the World Health Organization declared smallpox eradicated after years of worldwide immunization and surveillance. Unfortunately, the smallpox vaccine wasn't introduced until 1796, 20 years after Dr. Thomas's death. The town of Thomaston, Maine, was named after Major General John Thomas. Prior to his military service, he was a lighthouse keeper at Plymouth. Dr. John Thomas was appointed the keeper of both lighthouses since the towers were constructed on his land. John, the first keeper, served until he joined the Continental Army, at which time Hannah, his wife, took over, making her the first female lighthouse operator in America. Hannah Thomas was born in 1731 in Plymouth, Massachusetts. She married Dr. John Thomas in 1761. Her responsibilities were difficult, as British ships were firing upon the lighthouse during the war. She also had to hold her post during raging storms and rescue nearly drowned sailors from nearby shipwrecks. Since the lighthouse actually had twin towers, which were not connected to each other, she had the task of repeatedly climbing the stairs to add oil several times a night, trimming the wicks on the candles, and cleaning the huge glass lens. Besides being the lighthouse keeper, she managed a dairy farm and was the mother of 3 young children. In memory of Mr. Crode Sampson, interesting name, he died in 1836, 72 years old. And here lies his wife, Bethany Sampson. She passed in what looks like 1825. Can't read the last number. And Chandler Sampson, who died in 1800. Just 6 weeks old. This stone is interesting how it's tapered at the bottom. Looks more like a coffin or something. Gives it a little bit more of a haunting look. In memory of John Mitchell, who died in 1822, 60 years old. And Nancy Mitchell, She died in 1795. See that? It's down in the grass there. Wow. Nancy Mitchell. Sarah Holmes, daughter of Mr. Josiah Holmes and Mrs. Sally, his wife. Sarah died in 1815, just 2 months old and 24 days. So sad. The Holmes name keeps popping up. This one's interesting. It's a smaller stone. Mr. Sylvester Holmes, we read his name earlier, passed in 1810, but it looks like it's hand carved. Nothing is really centered. Strange, not like the others. In memory of Miss Sally Waterman, daughter of Mr. Benjamin Waterman, and Mrs. Lucy, his wife. She passed in 1821. This stone here is quite large compared to the rest. What's it say? Memento Mori? Beautiful carving there. The angel wings. In memory of the Reverend Mr. William Rand. Died March 14th, 1779. In memory of Mrs. Bridget Rand, consort of the Reverend William Rand. She died June of 1777. Looks like she was aged 77 years. Interesting. There's a giant monument here. Biggest one in the cemetery. Francis Adams, born in Chester, England in 1677. Died in Kingston, Massachusetts in 1758. And you come around to the other side here. Mary Buck Adams, his wife, born in Scituate, Massachusetts. That's right here. 1684 she was born, and she died right here in Kingston in 1769. There's a couple smaller stones up front. They're hard to read. At the bottom of the monument it says, erected by the descendants in 1868. Wow, it's pretty old. Can we read these down here? Here lies buried Francis Adams, April 6th. Look how sunken in they are to the ground. More than 50% of the stone is underground. Another Revolutionary War hero. Sacred to the memory of Colonel John Gray, who died April 26th, 1810. 80 years old. Wow. Good for you, sir. Judith, wife of Louis Gray, died in 1869, 78 years old. In memory of Captain Hezekiah Ripley, who died October 18th, 1841 in his 90th year. In memory of Uriah Bartlett, born in 1789, died in 1883 in his 95th year. Here's another Waterman name. This one's harder to read, it's much older. Passed, it looks like in 1809. Can you guys see that? Yeah, 1809. Check out this old stump from the tree. Must have been pretty big. There's some new growth coming out of it. Amazing. The circle of life. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a mean comment. Once again, thanks for watching. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die.